Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says yo.
Greetings, Kooplings, and welcome back to the Nintendo Shack, the weekly Nintendo show on the PSVG Podcast Network. My name is Donnie Reese, and I'm joined each and every week by Miss Rebecca. Hello.
Hello.
And Garrett Bland. What's up, dude? How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Guys ready for episode 162?
Absolutely.
Boy, it's going to be exciting. We got some rumors that we're going to talk about on the docket tonight, floating around Nintendo Land. We're going to talk about some of our plans upcoming in the next few weeks and lots more. But before we do, let's thank those that help keep the boat afloat over at patreon.com/PSVG. So thank you, Callow, Barry Cathcart, Josh Borboni, Chris McElfresh, Devin Tyus, Kyle Heyman, Michael Masick, Zach Bradshaw, Nick Philhaber, Paul Calicote, Rude Days 93, Rob Emanuel, Grouchy Surge, and Ben Moxham for all that you do. We got a long list of stuff here, but I imagine you guys are playing Age of Calamity still. How are you guys doing it?
Doing all right.
It's slow for me.
Yeah.
Making progress. Slow but sure progress.
Okay.
Not that
Same.
I don't want to play. I've just been very busy this week.
Sure.
And I feel like I've mostly only been playing the story part of it on stream, and I've been doing a lot of the side stuff off stream. Is kind of how I've been doing it. I don't know, Garrett, if you want to say what you've been doing.
I am 30 hours into this game.
Oh, wow.
I'm still not done with it. It's so many side missions, and I just want to do them all.
Yeah.
There is so many icons on that freaking map, and whenever you get a new character, there's 50 more icons that goes on that map, and then you defeat another 25 icons, and another 25 pops up. It's just never ending.
What chapter are you on right now?
I'm on chapter 7.
Okay, you're a lot further than I am. I have probably about 18 hours right now, and I'm in the middle of chapter 5.
Yeah, that sounds
that's kind
about
of
right.
like where the story is like kind of starting to kick in.
Yeah, definitely. The characters that I've been getting, cool, unique, very unique characters all around. I don't want to spoil anything too much, but I have new favorite characters.
Ooh.
Let's just say that. Not just
Not Impa anymore.
well, Impa's still there. No, she's top. She's always number one. But I got some other favorites as well. And yeah, it's been a ride. I'm ready to get done though. I think I'll get it done this weekend, and then head on over to new games.
For me, I've kind of been feeling like when I'm not playing it, I don't really want to be playing it, but when I am playing it, I'm very into it and like very like, okay, I want to keep going. I want to keep doing more of these. It's kind of weird. I haven't really felt that with a game like that in a while, where it's like the opposite of kind of like right now I'm not playing it and it's like, well, I don't need to be playing it right now, which is the opposite of how I should be feeling about a Zelda game.
Yeah.
Like I said, like when I am playing it, I can't stop. I think it's kind of just that repetitiveness of like doing all the different missions with like capturing the outposts. It's a lot very much of the same. I am starting to get to the things that Donnie, you didn't like so much about it. And I'm understanding where your criticisms of it were coming from. I don't necessarily agree with all of those myself, but I understand them a lot more. Like I see now more what your...
What chapter are you in?
I'm in 5. Like I can see now where the story's going, where people
Let's put a
are
pin in
saying
that.
they don't like.
Let's wait until we beat this.
I was going to ask
Yeah.
if you guys, now that you guys are a little further along, Garrett, I mean, you're closer here to the end, if you feel like any of my criticism was invalid.
No, it's not. It's not invalid.
I don't think it's invalid. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand. Like I respect your viewpoint of like where the story went.
I know where
I'm
it's
okay
going.
with it.
I
Yeah.
know exactly where it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to see if there's a twist at the end, though, because I know some people are. I don't know. That face you're getting me. I don't know.
I was going to make an expression, but I feel like that would spoil it. So I'm trying my best. I'm just going to not move.
But I have seen a lot of the criticisms, not just you, but other people are having about this story, and I get it. if it's going the way that I think it's going to go, I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It's very Nintendo.
Yeah. No joke.
Hopefully that doesn't spoil it. It's very Nintendo. But honestly, my biggest complaint wasn't necessarily the story. My biggest complaint with the story is it's not what I wanted the story to be. A la Last of Us, same thing. Last
I was
of Us 2.
going to make that comparison,
Exactly.
Donnie. I was going to make the comparison that if the story isn't where you want it to go, you're not a big fan of it, which I think we're very different in that respect. Like, I get that and I respect that. You know, you want certain things out of games. I'm more, what is the story giving me? I guess,
Sure.
I don't need it to be what I want.
Entitled.
I'm almost disappointed if
I'm
it's what I
entitled
want.
gamer.
See, I'm different because if they give me exactly what I want, it's a little bit boring for me. It's what I expected. It's what I wanted. I'd rather them surprise me.
Sure, and I'm all for that as well. I want it to be substantial, or have like
some meaning
importance
to it.
or significant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be my claims with this story, is I really don't think it's substantial at all.
Okay, that's right.
But honestly, my issues with this game is not really the story. The story, even though it's not what I want, I enjoyed. I said that.
Yeah.
There are moments that make it enjoyable. My issue is really the missions and how they set up the missions and the things that you do in the missions.
It's very repetitive.
I do feel the
very
repetitiveness is
repetitive.
starting to kick in for sure.
It's
Yeah,
a lot of the
There's
same
only
thing.
so many times I can fight, a Hinox. There's only so many times I can fight a Lionel.
Get ready
Yeah.
for that.
I'm sure I'll have
Yeah,
more.
get ready for more of that.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, and
the pilot missions.
That also is, I think, a bigger criticism for me than
Mhm.
anything story-wise. The story, I'm still good with it. It's not what I was expecting either, but I don't mind that.
It has its moments. Kyle tweeted at us. It's very spoilerific, so I didn't use it tonight. But if anybody doesn't care about it, they can go to our Shack feed and see it. Yeah, it kind of goes there, and there's some flavor and some feelings there that's good.
Yeah.
Just not what I wanted.
I think in a few weeks, once me and Garrett have beaten it, and most people have beat it, when we can talk a little bit more freely about it, we'll have to revisit it and kind of give more in-depth thoughts
Do some
about it.
spoilers. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's crush all the spoilers. Let's do it. Let's crush people's dreams.
Let's do it.
The game I was going to talk about was Blood Roots, which has been on my list to talk about for like 2 months.
Mhm.
I didn't know what this game was, but it was on sale before Black Friday, like a long time ago, like at the beginning of the month or something. I've owned it for a while. I don't know exactly when, but I got it for like $1. It's like $2 or something. It was like $1.50 or something. I don't know what it was. Legit, one of my favorite indie games of the year, and I think this year overall, and I have not researched this, so maybe I'm just forgetting a few things. This year overall, I feel like has been a little lackluster for me in the indie department, where last year I think I had 5 indie games in my top 10 of the year. So I really like this game. It's very much in the vein of like Ape Out or Katana Zero.
Okay.
Hotline Miami, very
Yeah.
much like
Yeah,
Hotline Miami. Great, really great action game. Runs pretty good on Switch, not great. I don't know if I'd say it's as great as those games. It's just very much like those games. It's very addictive to get into a loop. Like you start a little mission level, and you basically have to go through, kill all the enemies. If you get hit once, start all over, wash, rinse, repeat. And then there are little chemical reactions and items and weapons that you can pick up through the level as you go. So you could light things on fire, or you could jump on a barrel and like roll into people, or you can pick up a carrot and hit somebody, or like a turkey. Certain weapons let you do stuff. So if you pick up they have like these rakes, it lets you like pole vault. Other weapons you can throw.
Nice.
So it kind of becomes like this little, this little like setup where you kind of set up a plan, like a run, like that Katana Zero type thing. Like I'm going to go here, I'm going to use this to get that guy, and then I'm going to jump over and do this and do that. And it's really, really quite good. It's got really cool animation. Very bloody. It's very bloody, but not like Doom grotesque bloody. It's very cartoony, almost like Samurai Jack bloody.
Is it top down like Hotline Miami?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Gotcha.
not exactly top down, but yeah, that is perspective. You're looking kind of down. It's got like a little bit of an angle to it. It's not exactly like
isometric.
Hotline.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's really good, and I've had it for a while, and I got it super cheap. And that's probably why I'm even higher on it. I don't know exactly. I don't even know what it costs, but it's been on my list for weeks, and for all the things we've gotten to do, I haven't gotten to it. So I just wanted to make sure I got that plug in on this show early. I really like it. It's good.
Nice. Nice.
If you're into
I
those
did get some
games.
games
Ooh,
from
what'd you
the
get?
sale.
Ooh.
I got Gunvolt Chronicles.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I got the latest of the series. I played Azure Striker, the first two,
Yep.
on Switch. Really enjoyed them. So I'm going to play the third entry into that. It's a completely different character.
Got
It's
this
like,
in 3DS, right?
yeah,
Okay,
the
thank
first
you.
two are on 3DS, yes.
You
And
made
they-
me question it there when you were like on Switch. I'm like, wait a second, those are old.
Yeah, they ported it to Switch,
Ah.
and I reviewed that on Switch. And so I'm playing the third one, and then Blaster Master Zero for like $4.
Nice.
So
I've heard that's good.
I'll play a couple of those this weekend.
My
Can't
Mario
wait.
Sonic came today. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but it arrived in the mail today.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've been going back old school again. I started last Sunday and finished it up this past Sunday. Metroid Zero Mission.
Nice.
I did my full Zero Suit Samus cosplay while I was
Oh.
streaming it. I've
Nice.
been wanting to play more Metroid games for a very long time because the only one that I've ever beat was Super Metroid, and I played most of Prime One, but I haven't finished it. But I've been wanting to get into Metroid more, so I did Zero Mission. It's very short. It's very easy. If you want to get into a Metroid game, this is the one to do. It's short, it's easy, like it's I don't know if any other Metroid games do it, but it actually like kind of guides you and like tells you where to, like, a suggested where to go next. So in most Metroid games you can kind of like go in several different orders to get the items, but in this one it guides you a little bit more. The battles are pretty easy. I've died a couple times, nothing like, there's save stations, they're plentiful. So if you're looking to get into Metroid, that's a good one to start with. I really enjoyed it, and it makes me want to play even more Metroid.
Nice.
Besides that, I haven't really been doing much else. I've been so busy this week.
I've been playing Xbox more than anything else. Yeah, and doing that, and then working on my kitchen. That's what I've been up to.
Nice. Working in Age of Calamity. And then
Yep.
putting all my ROMs onto the Retroid Pocket.
Oh,
I got that GBA ROMs all in there.
Oh,
I-
I'm
the
ready
hype,
to go.
The hype got to you.
the hype.
Yeah, it did.
So much hype.
Now I have a backlog I'll never finish.
That's okay.
All right, let's hop over into This Week in Nintendo, and Doom Eternal got a date. It's out next week,
Wow.
December 8th. It's like just like a few days, right?
Weren't we starting to think that it was canceled on Switch?
Well, yeah, GameStop canceled anybody that ordered it physically about 3 weeks ago. Like if you had a pre-order, they just canceled. They just called you and they're like, it's canceled. And
Because there's no physical, right?
right, so then Doom came out and said, well, there's not going to be a physical release. It's going to be digital only, which I was one of the people that was like, maybe they're going to move to streaming, because I am
Yeah.
so excited to see what Digital Foundry has to say about this game.
It'll be interesting.
The little trailer that they showed looked pretty good. Didn't look great, looked pretty good.
It looked playable.
Looked
Did we
better than I
decide for
expected.
sure
I'm not
if
going to
it's
lie to you.
Panic Button that's
Yeah.
doing the port?
It is Panic Button that's
It is
doing
Panic
the
Button.
port.
Panic
They're
Button.
miracle workers. It's gonna work.
Even with their miracle work, this looks better than Doom and Wolf 2. Just in
Yeah.
the little bit that I've seen,
It should.
It looks
should.
better.
They've had better practice with it. Better
I'm
more.
still
it
not-
should
more
look better.
complicated game.
I'm still not convinced. We'll see.
I'm not convinced either.
I think they
I-
showed
it-
you the
Now
best that
it
this game
probably
has to
won't
show
be
us.
perfect.
Sure.
But-
Of course it won't be. No,
I think it'll look the best it can be on.
that's
on the
never
Switch.
been my expectation level. It's a tablet. I 100% like, you've got to make a concession. The question is whether or not the concessions are worth it. Right. And I was very impressed. Look, I've said a lot of things about this game. I'm ready to eat crow. I would happily eat crow because Doom Eternal, I love. You guys have been in our Discord, you know. I feel like I'm like, me and Elaine are the only people that love that. I love Doom Eternal.
I'm gonna play it this week.
I think
on
it's an
PC.
amazing
Yeah.
game as a shooter, but here's the difference. I love all the platforming, and everybody else on the team is like, I hate Doom with platforming. And I was like, this is the best platforming I've ever done in a shooter.
Maybe I
So-
wouldn't like it then.
It has, and that's always been my concern with it on Switch. The traversal in that game
Yes.
is grand. It's towering. It's long, big geometry. And I'm just like, man, these areas so big and so many enemies, and the action is so frantic. How does this work on Switch?
Panic Button.
We'll see. I'm okay. There was an interview on Nintendo World Report. I posted in our Discord where they got an interview with the Panic Button folks, and they really wouldn't go on record. They wouldn't say anything about resolution. They did say it was dynamic. They said it changed a lot, which is to be expected. But they wouldn't say anything about that. They wouldn't say anything about performance. But from what they were showing and then kind of how they were speaking, my guess is, 720, maybe handheld, maybe a little lighter. Maybe it gets to like 900 docked, maybe 1080p in some sections.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. And I would expect the enemy count to be lessened. That was kind of my big takeaway is I expect there not to be as many enemies.
Okay.
That would be my guess that they may trade off a little bit. And we'll see. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see the Digital Foundry thing. And for carte blanche for our listeners, I'm not going to buy this on Switch. It was never going to happen. Not close. Got it on Game Pass, played it on Xbox. Like that's where I'm going to play it. That's where I tell anybody that could play it to play it. But I know there's a lot of people that just have Switch. And if that's the only way you got it, play a great game. I love this game. I think Doom Eternal is way better than Doom 2016. But I apparently in the minority on that one.
I just saw Joe After Work tweeting. It's the most Switch fan club tweet ever. It's like, I could get it $1 to get 3 months of Game Pass to play this on PC, but no, I'm gonna pay $60 next week.
That is the perfect psyche into a Nintendo fan's heart.
The
right
lure
there.
of the portability, like the nature of the Switch.
It's not.
I feel
He's
like
streaming
They
it.
just want to support
but
Nintendo.
but there's people like that.
There is. Oh, I get it. And
I don't mean him specifically, but there's going to be people who will get it
just
because
for
it's portably and because they have a Switch and that's what's convenient for them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I would.
Can't argue with that. I had somebody reach out to me and go, "Hey, should I get Phoenix Rising on Switch?" And he has an Xbox. I'm like, "Why?
What are you doing?
Why would you buy?" And I understand it as a Nintendo fan. I understand like wanting to support stuff on Nintendo, valuing your Switch library more than you do, or they give games away for $1. Like there's actually some conditioning, like some psychoanalysis stuff on why people do that stuff. Like that's a real thing.
I don't want to be a hypocrite because I got Witcher 3 and Skyrim on Switch. And Witcher 3, whew, I recently played that dock and I'm like, nah, that's some fog glasses right over that filter right there.
You told us for so long it was so good.
It's playable.
Wasn't that our benchmark? Playable Witcher 3?
It's a Switch light
Playable.
screen. It's crisp, but on dock, no.
I've never been more excited to watch Digital Foundry video.
It'll be interesting.
I hope for everything that it's an amazing port and it's what everybody wants. So I'm hoping they pulled it off. We will see. It definitely, I would say, I really want to see side-by-sides. I was getting the sense that it felt like a little cartoonier than I remembered it. But I haven't played this game since like March. But I was like,
Maybe they went easier on the textures.
maybe.
They did.
But I didn't
definitely-
study it.
That could give it a more cartoony look.
Yeah, I didn't study it, but that was just from that little trailer, that was like kind of my initial takeaway. I was like, oh, it's a little different. It's still Doom Eternal, but slightly different.
The way I see it is, who cares about that if you're playing a fun game that
Oh,
works?
100%. 100%. I don't. And if anything,
I don't.
if anything, that actually might make me want to play it more.
Yeah.
I like cartoony stuff. Like I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning that the DLC is coming later. The game is cut down to 18.8 gigs. Does include gyro controls. And it will include the battle mode 2v1 multiplayer. So
cool.
If you're worried about any of that, like the multiplayer, it's somewhat fully featured. They did commit to the DLC coming, it's just not at launch. And 18 gigs. That's nice.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Remember, like
At all.
2K on Switch is like 34.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't fit on carts. And it actually bodes to think, like, if it's only 18, why aren't they doing a physical release?
The cost, maybe.
Yeah.
They're
I
just
don't know.
not expecting the game to sell that well. But Doom sold really well.
Physically on Switch, maybe
so.
really.
But I don't
Okay.
think Wolf did, though.
Oh, okay.
Don't think Wolf did. And
Wo-
I know
Wolf 2?
Youngblood. I don't think Youngblood did at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Anyway. I'm very, very excited about the next news topic that I put. Rumor. New Nintendo Switch sports game coming from Camelot. Over on Reset Era, user Zippo, who does have a track record of both accurate and inaccurate leaks. So take this with a grain of salt. He was right on like Paper Mario, right? But he's also said that Metro is coming. It's never showed up. So, it's how credible you give him. But he says that a new Mario sports game is coming from Camelot in the first half of 2021, but he doesn't know what it is, but golf would be a safe assumption, which I would agree with. I do. We've talked about it on this show multiple times. I think golf is up next. If you study Camelot, they typically rotate tennis and golf, and then they throw in a mega mix in that rotation.
Gotcha.
And of all the studios and subsidiaries that Nintendo works with, Camelot seems to be up next, right? Like we've got who have we got? We got Next Level and Intel, like Intelligent Systems. They've done games, like they've done their games, right?
Yeah.
HAL, they did Kirby Fighters 2 and Box Boy, and like they've done their games. It's been a minute. Like it seems like Camelot would be next.
Yeah, I think what else has Camelot been working on since tennis?
That's
Is it just tennis?
Just tennis.
Exactly. So they have to be working on this. It makes sense.
And Mario Golf World Tour was good on not just good
Very
critically,
successful.
was successful on 3DS. That game sold well for a golf game, so I would expect them to revisit it. And I couldn't be more excited. Now, if this is sports mix and includes horse racing, I'm gonna be so upset. I'm just gonna cry.
Mario on a horse.
I don't know why they continue to do that, but somewhere they have data that suggests that people like playing that game. All right, so I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about this rumor, and if you'd rather see something like
Baseball.
Strikers or Sluggers. Or,
I want to see Sluggers. I never got to play Super Mario Sluggers. I want a
good.
new one. It won't be, but it'll definitely be golf.
It's good.
But
Sluggers is fun.
I would prefer Sluggers for sure. That's the only sport that I really like, to be honest.
Gotcha. I would like Strikers, but
Strikers
again,
also fun.
it's very fun game. But as it makes sense that golf would be the next
Yeah.
kind of sports
Definitely.
game.
Okay.
Definitely. I think that's easier for them to make than something like Strikers or Sluggers, and it's probably more popular in the long run.
Listen, you two.
Yeah,
In the fine print of you joining the show,
yeah.
you committed to playing Mario Golf with me on launch day.
Wait, did we?
We did.
You better buy this game because we are going to play the absolute hell out of it. We're going to play this
Okay, that
game
might convince me.
all year long. So with Mario World Tour, Mario Golf World Tour, we did weekly tournaments that we called, I think we called like the lunch break open. The
Nice.
greatest thing about Mario Golf is that you can play whenever you want. We don't all have to coordinate. We don't have to sit down and play together. Everybody can log in and whenever they have a chance, and they can log their round.
Ooh.
And I would set up all kinds of wacky rules. So we do one round with like, power ups, and we do another one that was only 9 holes. And next week we do 18 holes and like, mix up the courses and stuff. And you guys already know my affinity for golf games, and Mario Golf World Tour was probably my favorite. I love the absolute mess out of the game. Played it for hundreds of hours. It's my Animal Crossing. So you got to be there. Listeners, you got to be there. We're going to play it. We're going to do all the tournaments. We're going to play together. I'll probably stream. I don't even want to. I don't
Johnny
even like
stream.
streaming, but I will pull all the stuff
you're
out
gonna
to play
be
Mario
streaming.
Golf.
Big deal.
I will dig all the stuff out of the closet, and we will stream, and I'll maybe do like Friday night golf nights or something where people can jump in and we can actually play live together
All
or
right,
something.
you've convinced me. I
Johnny-
had tennis and I sold it. So I would do golf if you guys played it.
Man, I wanted to try out the tennis game, but I didn't.
It's
I
not
It was
good.
good. I
tennis
just
as a
didn't play
sport.
it much.
Really? It's
I
not
think it was
good?
fine. It was fine.
It was like average to good.
Yeah.
It was better than the Wii U one for sure, but
Okay.
not great.
Okay.
They
Sounds
haven't done. My issue with tennis is that the core gameplay is good. I think that maybe with the last one with Aces, they may have went a little too far.
They made it too gimmicky.
Yeah, it's a
They
little
did.
too gimmicky. But the
I don't
core
want gimmicky.
gameplay,
Just give me regular tennis.
the core gameplay is good. The problem is they haven't found a way to like work around the edges and embellish that core game
Right.
like they have golf. Golf has all kinds of like wacky courses and power-ups and things that make sense in the universe. They haven't done any of that to tennis, really. Like they tried it with like they've got the little mission, like the little solo, but it's just challenges. It's just like, hey, beat this
It was
person.
boring.
It's
I
boring.
think tennis is hard to make
is
it,
boring.
It
spice
is,
it
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Right.
Garrett.
So-
Can I be Waluigi
Yeah,
in Mario Golf? Sweet.
I think
I'll be
so.
Waluigi.
I would never pick Waluigi, but I'm pretty sure you can.
I will be Waluigi.
The other thought that I had that I did postulate on Twitter is, do you think this impacts Sports Story 2 at all? Is there any
No.
good or bad that this might have with that game? So
Not at all.
What if they were planning on launching in the spring too?
That's fine.
You think they'll still launch?
Yes.
Sure.
I totally think they'll push.
Really.
I don't
I
think they
don't.
would want to release. You don't want to be the indie golf game, and I know that it's sports, but still.
Different audience.
I know that.
I think.
But it's still like it's just a big release. I think what I would point to is like what we've seen with Jules and Chicken Wiggle, right? He released Chicken Wiggle, and then they did Mario Maker on 3DS, and he's like, it crushed Chicken Wiggle. You know, like
Yeah.
Okay, but that's the same kind of game. Sports Story isn't just golf.
that's a good point. I knew that, and that's what we were talking about on Twitter, and I agree. But I think to a lot of people, it is golf game. You know, I think a lot of people just look at it because it's it's the sequel to Golf Story.
I don't think it will.
Okay, all right. I hope not. I mean,
I think
hope
it'll
not.
be fine. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just don't release it on the same day. Just don't do that, okay?
Yeah.
At least a week apart.
Yeah.
And I think
That'd
it'll
be great.
fine.
Yeah.
Do we have a question? You want to do David's question?
Oh, we do. David wanted to know, let's say they made a Mario football game. Who would you want on your dream team in specific positions like quarterback, running back, wide receiver, etc., and why? What special abilities do you think they would have in this game?
Yeah, Rebecca, what do you think?
David, I have no idea, but I think Donnie might have an answer.
I did sit down. I loved this question when we got it, so thank you so much, David. And I sat down and I did try to give you the old college try here. Okay, so you get Mario football. I think you have 3 down linemen on both sides, so you don't have like a full offense. It's not like Madden. It's like an arcadey version of Madden. So your offense and defensive line, you've got 3 people, and I think you make up the offensive defensive lines and kind of like the ancillary positions with like generic Super Mario folks, right? So obviously, Charging Chuck, Super Mario World, Charging Chuck, football player. He's the lineman, right? Big guy down in front.
What about Donkey Kong?
Hey, I'm getting there.
Okay.
And then you surround the ancillary positions that you're not controlling, like the teammates that you don't pick, right? I'm thinking this like strikers. I'm taking like a strikers approach to this.
Okay.
So like, on strikers, you pick like 1 or 2 people and then they'd fill in with like Koopas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing the same thing. So Charging Chuck, Shy Guy, Koopa Troopa, Goomba, and the Hammer Bros. Definitely the Hammer Bros. They look like football players. Right? So you take those are your ancillary people, right? They're playing the positions that you don't pick. Then you pick 5 people to be on your team and they play 5 positions. So quarterback, running back, 2 wide receivers, and I'm putting a flex. I'll just call it that, a flex. Could line up a tight end, could line up as a receiver, could be a second running back, whatever you want, but it's a flex. It's like a wild card. Just pick one more. And then on defense, you do the same. 2 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 1 secondary player, like safety, corner. And you pick out like Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Donkey Kong to fill those spots. And then obviously every one of them have their own attributes, right? Mario is average across the board. Donkey Kong's super slow. Maybe he can throw the ball a mile, right? Like he can fling the ball all over the place, make Yoshi fast or something. I don't know. Like you do something like that. And I think this is an amazing idea. I'm upset that they've never done it. I love football games. And I think a Mario football game. And again, I'm looking at this from, if you're trying to picture in your head, I'm looking at this from behind the line of scrimmage point of view, like Madden, like NCAA football, but in an arcadey way, right? Think about it, like Toad is the referee. So he's got the stripes, right?
I love it.
But Toad is just not just the referee, he's everybody. He's the referee, he's the sideline judge, he's the coach, he's the announcer, just Toad's everywhere. Right?
That's fun,
I wanna hear his
actually. I like
voice.
that.
Yeah. I think
the
this would be
announcer.
hilarious. I love this idea. And I mean, it's basically strikers. The idea is strikers. The strikers but football.
I want
American
Dixie
football.
Kong to be a running back, and her special ability is just like grab the ball and then just helicopter
Yeah, she gets to fly
over everything.
for a
Yeah,
period.
she just gets a yeah.
So that's the thing that I love about Football Heroes Turbo, which you guys have heard me talk about, is everybody on the field has a special move that you can pull off after like it has like a cooldown. So every 3 turns or something. So like one dude can just like Blanca people and electrocute everybody. One quarterback can just hit it and makes everybody fall down on the entire field. Everybody just falls down. Other people get to go super fast. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think Birdo would be an amazing quarterback.
I love
Yeah.
If she
Birdo.
shot the ball,
Just catapult the
Yes.
ball.
right? It would
All
be
across
so
the
much
field.
fun. This game would be a blast. I would love it. It'd
I don't
be
even like
so
football,
good.
and you've just convinced me that would be a very fun game.
Yeah.
Nintendo, hire Donnie. We need a Mario game or a Mario football game right
Yoshi could be who kicks stuff? Could Yoshi be a kicker? Like his little leg. He's like, "Thump."
now. He can hit the football at
Flutter.
the ground
Flutters.
like flutter, and then launches the football.
It'd be hilarious if he was on
But
defense and he
he
could
throws the
flutter.
eggs.
He can
That's
flutter
true.
across.
He throws eggs, so he could be.
Oh, he could catch with his tongue.
Oh.
That's true.
Oh, that's
That's true.
good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm liking this football
I
game
like
actually.
it.
It'd be
Yeah.
good. Give it to the Mutant Football League people. Let them make a Mario football game.
Mhm.
It'd be good because they do all the crazy stuff, power ups, but they rip each other's head off and stuff. But like, do it, but Mario. Do it, but Nintendo.
Yeah. I'd be totally down.
I just want a football game on Switch.
I think it would sell,
I
man.
want a legit good American football game on Switch. I don't care who does it, but somebody freaking do it already. I'm about to start my own damn studio and make a football game for Switch. Like, how does football not sell? Like, you can't. The Madden people cannot tell me they won't sell 1 million copies of Madden on Switch. It's impossible. They absolutely will sell.
They would.
Yeah, they would. It's too popular
Yeah.
not to. And
I
Mario
don't know
would
what's
as well.
going on.
Yeah, Mario would as well. So if you had a good IP, yeah, you'd sell in a heartbeat. Okay, next one. Switch firmware 11.0.0 is out now. Before we get into all the things it does, because that's really not all that noteworthy, this had all kinds of people buzzing that Game Boy Advance and stuff was coming because they put the Nintendo Switch Online icon on the home screen.
Yeah.
This has been a thing, and maybe it is. I mean, that's not.
I tend to agree, and I mean, the Game Boy Advance was the rumor at the time, but I do think they prepped this page in anticipation of adding stuff to the online service.
Absolutely agree.
I think it makes
Definitely.
sense.
You don't put it on the homepage just to leave it there and not do anything with
Yeah,
it, for
they
sure.
would have done that when it came out. I think.
I opened it, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, I see what you're doing.
Because
Nintendo.
that's the reason nobody's playing it. It's because it's not on the homepage. Like, we have to be reminded. That's not the
Yeah.
reason. But before we get into that, other things. So the Nintendo Switch Home icon is added to the main theme, which I shared my thoughts for. I think it's annoying. I use that
I think a
word
lot of
very
people think it's
purposely.
annoying.
I think it's very
Yeah.
annoying that it's there. I don't like that you don't have the option to put it there. I don't like how they put it there.
It's just there.
And it's super red. Just bright
It's
red,
red button.
right on the
Hell,
home screen.
and draw your eyes to get you to look at it and then thus buy Nintendo Switch Online.
Absolutely. As somebody who designs UX, I understand exactly what they did. Telling you I don't like it. Don't like what they've done. I think they're better than that. And it really clashes with the whole theme. I think it looks better if you play the white theme. If you do the white theme on your Switch, all the other icon colors I think pop more than they do with like the gray black theme that you put on it. But that said, I just don't like it. And that's a personal thing. When using software with the same Nintendo account linked to multiple systems, hello, that's me.
That's cool.
Your stuff will automatically download. You don't have to go manually push it, which is awesome. Now, this is already kind of the case because you can set automatic downloads, but I think it's
Yes.
like when you close the game, it automatically sets off to do it. I think
That is so
before
cool.
it might have been running off of like some sort of task scheduler because it wasn't like immediate. It would just
And
do
not
it randomly.
And there's specific games that
Yeah.
you still have to
Yep.
manually transfer. Does that change anything at all?
You have to. I think now it's automatic unless you turn it off.
I see.
Which is
Okay.
cool. But I will tell you, as somebody who does float across multiple systems, I actually have most of that disabled because I want to pick and choose because I was a little fearful that something might get overwritten. So I want to like pick and choose exactly what I'm pulling and what I'm putting up to make sure I'm always kind of keeping my, my save. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the new trending feature was added to the user page.
I kind of like that feature,
Yeah?
to be honest with you. Did you check it out at all?
All I
No.
saw was it's like 15 of your friends is playing Mario.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can kind of see, like, if you click on a game, you can see which of your friends have started it recently and which of them are playing it. So let's say maybe you're trying to hop into Splatoon. Maybe you haven't played Splatoon in a year. You can go on there and see which of your friends have played it recently. Maybe you want to hit up those friends to play with you because you know that they're playing it too right now.
I'd rather
I think
see
it
that
could be
they're
useful.
playing it live right now than that they have played it.
Well, you've always been able to see that.
Right. So I don't personally like you having. All right, taking your example, having seen that you've played it like 2 days ago, I don't think does me a whole lot of good, to be honest.
Maybe not. I don't know. It could help.
I don't
like
care
I
that
saw
they
that there
did
were
it.
some people that were playing Minecraft recently. I don't have Minecraft, but maybe if I was thinking about getting Minecraft, I could say, oh, okay, well, these are my friends who play it right now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, still an active live game that I want to jump into.
Sure. Okay. That makes
I thought it
sense.
was cool. I might check it out every once in a while to see what people are up to.
This didn't bother me as much because, again, it's hidden. It's off the main screen. Like, I'm never going to go check it anyway.
I
so.
had no idea this was a thing.
Mm-hmm. You can now transfer screenshots and video to your phone over Wi-Fi. Scan a little QR code.
Did you try it yet?
I have not.
I did. It's very easy. I really like it. You don't need to use your social media anymore. You don't have to kind of do the tedious, I'm going to plug it into my computer anymore.
Which brings us
It's
to the
very
next one.
easy.
you can now plug in with a USB cord to your computer and transfer without having to take over your SD card. Now, I have actually helped Rebecca prepare for review in getting screenshots off the Switch system to the PC, because if you don't send them through to social, if you don't send them to Twitter, they don't get compressed. So you get one-to-one. Like if you go directly from your SD card, you're getting the full resolution video and image that you captured.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's much better quality. I've done complete video reviews of Nintendo Switch games completely using the screenshot tool. That's it. That's the only thing I use for capturing video and clips of the entire thing. Like 15-minute reviews. The entire thing done just off a Switch. No capture card or anything.
But you only can do 30 seconds at a time.
You can only do
right?
30 seconds at a time. Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. I couldn't do that.
I forget the Lions Song, which is a really cool indie game that I got a review code. If you go look on YouTube, did my entire review just that. I specifically wanted to try it just to talk about it, like kind of like an extra thing on top of my review. Did the entire review with just clips. So as my review is referencing things that I liked or didn't like about the game, I'm actually clipping pieces out of that specific section.
Yeah, I think 30 seconds is very fine for
a lot.
that purpose.
30
It's a
seconds
lot,
is a
yeah.
lot when you're clipping together like a voiceover for a review. 30 seconds is a lot. You'd be surprised how much you can read in 30 seconds.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So that's really, really cool. I think, honestly, the biggest thing out of this would be the next one. Prioritizing downloads. You can now pick and choose which is downloading first, which is a big deal for me because most oftentimes, I've talked about this past, my shopping habit, I see a game that I'm interested in, I throw it on my wish list. I usually, every time I go to buy something, I always check my wish list. So a new game comes out, I open up the store, I'm going to go buy it. Before I buy it, I go check my wish list. What's on sale? Comb through it, see if there's something, and more often than not, I'll buy 3 or 4 games at a time.
Oh, wow.
So I'll buy the game that I'm there for, and then I'll buy another one that's on sale. And yeah, wanting to be able to pick and choose, because in the past, I've always had to cancel the download. Trigger the download, cancel it, because I want to play this one first, and then re-trigger the other one. So this is nice.
It's also helpful for people who are doing system transfers and they're re-downloading everything. And you're right, maybe they
Very
want to do a
much.
couple things first.
Yep, I've done that before too. And then you get 12 new icons from Super Mario Bros. More icons
They're
that they've
all
added.
Mario. Every single one
Great.
is Mario.
I honestly had forgotten until this started hitting Twitter that we even had icons. I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing. I totally
I
just
forgot my icon was. To be honest.
yeah, I set my icon and it's just been that way for a year or two.
Yours is Kirby.
I don't even know. Yeah,
And
it's
mine
like
is Meta Knight.
I don't know what
They're
it
like
is, but
twinsies, you know?
I just set it there, and that's it's been that way for a long time. So yeah,
Downey, I know you don't like the actual Switch Online icon on your home screen, but I actually really like the actual when you go into the app and see it, it organizes all of your libraries. It really does a good job of, for each of the systems, breaking it up into like the release year. It's very organized. I think, since we talked about how we can't have folders because Nintendo doesn't want to give us folders, as they start adding more of these libraries to Switch Online, which we presume that they are, it's almost like it's acting as a folder that you can go into it and they're all right there.
yeah, it's like a one-step.
Very clean. It's very organized. So even though it's a little bit annoying on the outside on the menu itself, the inside of the app I think is actually fantastic.
Rebecca, did you say folders?
I did say folders.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the
okay. And
mystical folders. You might not have heard of them before.
they did folders inside an app custom built for us, right? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Okay.
Groups.
Groups.
Yeah.
I want that. Sorry.
Can you delete the actual apps? So the apps that you download, like the NES and the Super Nintendo apps, can you delete them and just launch them from the Nintendo Switch?
I don't think so. No, I think it's
That's
just
a
a
bummer.
faster way of getting it to, getting to it.
So when you
But
launch
if
a
it's
game,
like
when you launch a game from the Nintendo Switch Online icon, does it then launch the app?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it does.
Okay, so
But
it's like
it
a
pulls it
bookmark.
up fast. It's like kind of a faster way
Yeah,
to
it's
get
like
to
a
it if you don't
bookmark.
want to look through everything.
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. I mean, I can see the value in that. I know I told you this on Twitter. I totally think it'd be a whole lot cooler if they styled that icon in the style that the other icons are.
I know,
Like,
but then you wouldn't notice it.
oh, you totally would, because they just make it red. But if they made it outline red instead of the whole thing being red, right? See what I'm saying?
Oh, but it doesn't catch your eye.
It would look so cool.
I know.
Donnie, we know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think we get it.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
It would
but-
look cooler. It would be better. Somebody didn't think about it. If I could have told them, they would have listened.
Guys, I want to mention something. I've had a recent issue only once, but it happened, and with me and Kevin. My Switch, when I docked it, it blacked.
I've heard this happening to a lot of people.
Okay,
with this
so it's
update.
not just the stand itself. I think it has to do with the new update.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. But basically, what happened was I tried to put the stand in. The stand did not recognize it, or the dock, and my Switch just blacked out. I had to hard reset it, and it seemed to be fine.
Yeah, you two aren't the only ones. I've been hearing that pop up.
So just be careful. If you have your games in suspension and you try to dock it, be careful, because those games will.
Do you want to
make
say
worse.
what you did to fix it in case anyone experiences that themselves?
I held the power button a very long time, and then it just popped up. Everything was fine.
Okay.
So yeah,
Well,
just
that's good.
yeah. Don't worry about it. If it's not turning on or whatever, just hold the power button for extremely long periods of time. It'll come back up.
I've totally moved to my actual Switch, the dock model now. I'm like full 100% over here now.
Nice.
I've basically moved the light onto Victoria. This is my new primary system. She's just Animal
I love the
Crossing
grip.
away now over there.
Yeah,
That's satisfying. You know, you got to do
I
it.
love.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good.
Ready for the Switch Pro. Ready to move on.
Me too. So
save that.
badly.
I wanted to get into what we were planning on doing this December and a lot of different things. So let's start with our plans, because we have some plans, some announcements, some housekeeping that we need to do. Next week, we're going to delay the podcast a day, because if we recorded on Thursday, we'd be recording as the Game Awards were happening. So we're not going to do that. I reached out to the team thinking that I'd stream it. Like everybody on the internet, let's stream the Game Awards. Haley tells me it's 4 hours long.
They really
long.
drag it out. It's
Never mind. I'm not going to stream it. No, I'm not going to do that. That's
there's
too
only
long.
so many interesting parts. They do like performances. They
That's
do
too
like,
much.
More than
lots of
half of his
commercials.
performances
There's lots of commercials and advertisements.
I'm going to play games and just follow on Twitter. I'll just get the
Yeah.
announcements as they happen on Twitter. So that's one thing that we're going to do. Also, Christmas. We're taking a Christmas break. This is something that I typically do. I wanted the entire PSVG thing to do. Everybody's going to kind of do their own thing. So Nintendo Shack and Xbox Empire will be taking a 2-week hiatus for Christmas week and New Year's. We're not going to leave you high and dry. We are going to record our favorite games of the year episode with Elaine. It's going to be the ultimate Shack Empire
Yeah.
crossover. We're going to
So
do it
excited.
all together, and we're going to put that out 1 week. The next week, we are going to release Rebecca's patron exclusive DLC episode across the Shack feed and Elaine's upcoming DLC episode across the Empire feed. So if you guys have never listened to our DLC episodes, you have no idea what we do in the Patreon land, during our little Christmas hiatus, we're going to release that to everybody so they can get a taste of what it's like to support us on Patreon and what you get for $3 a month that you sign up over there. So
Learn all about me and Elaine.
oh, it's going to be a
Good stuff.
blast. I think folks are going to like it.
Gonna
And
be
I
the
think we're
best.
going to cherry pick a few. I want to anyway. I haven't given a whole lot of thought, but I want to take something from Strong Style and something from Border There Games. I kind of want to turn into just like a little promo. Like, here's what we do on Patreon. Get a taste. If you like it, you can support us over there.
A
So
little Christmas gift.
yeah. So we're going to have some content that's going to go out there. I hope folks like it. I need a break.
Yeah.
It's
think
not
we
from
all
you
do.
guys. It's not from you guys. I love recording with you guys. It's just we've done a lot this year. I've done a lot between Game
Yeah.
Tech, these shows, Decade of Horror, like so much. And I think a lot of the things that I've been saying and talking about on Twitter and in their Discord and stuff privately for the last couple of weeks. Like I need a break. So we're gonna take a good 2 weeks off. And I'm just going to play games and spend time with my kids and do Christmas and stuff. So wanted to get that out there. But on to the actual news. What are your plans or predictions for the Game Awards next week?
My plans, I'm going to be helping cover it with Twinfinite.
Cool.
Predictions, I am going in with very low expectations because I was not impressed with what Nintendo brought last year. Compared to previous years. So I feel like if I get my hopes up, I will be disappointed. I would love if they had a Breath of the Wild trailer. I don't think they will. I think
Ooh.
it's still too early. You think they might?
I have a list.
Oh, you came
always
prepared.
have a list. Oh my goodness.
So I wrote down a list of everything that I think could possibly happen.
You have higher expectations than I do.
These are not what I think is going to happen. I'm
What you
kind of
want
with
to happen?
you. But here's the thing.
I'll tell you what I want.
I'm with you on let's have low expectations. But I'm not 100% with you that I think that doesn't mean Zelda. Because if they wanted to, I totally think they would show Zelda for a lot of different reasons. So let's start there. Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Could they show it? I think they could.
They could.
It's been, 2 years almost? A year and a half since we've seen it at E3? Because it was E3 before last E3, which we didn't have.
E3? Okay.
Yeah. Because me and Caroline watched it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was,
okay.
so it's
2018.
It was a year and a half ago.
Goodness.
So it's been a minute. They've shown it at the Game Awards before. When they've shown stuff at the Game Awards before, they've totally shown it like just running in the background. They've shown nothing of it at the Game Awards before. Could that be what we see? Totally. Totally could show it and it not be anything at all. And we all get excited. So like, remember that is a possibility. They could show nothing and still show it. And also, they could show it and still delay the game. Mm-hmm. They've done that several times.
They could show a little snippet, something that's hardly
Yep.
anything, and not have a year and have us wondering, well, when is it coming?
They could show it and announce a delay. They totally could be like,
I
here's
don't
Breath of
think
the Wild 2,
no, I don't.
2022.
I don't think they would do that. I think they would
I would
say
hope
nothing
not.
at all because and delay is negative, and they wouldn't want to bring anything negative.
I agree. I'm just remembering the past, like that second time they showed the Game Awards, and then like a month later they delayed the whole thing like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, so the reason I say the things I'm saying is I've seen people say it's not ready because of COVID and all the things, which I agree with. So that's why they won't show it. That's the part I don't agree with. I don't think that has anything to do with whether Nintendo would show it or not.
No, the reason why I don't think they would necessarily show it is because we're so close to Age of Calamity, but I almost still feel like they could be kind of riding on the Zelda hype that people have right
I
now.
think so too.
Yep.
I don't
We're all
think it would
playing this
interfere
game.
with Age of Calamity at all.
Okay. So my list, or Garrett, do you want to go or you want me to do my list here?
I don't have much predictions like Rebecca, so go for it.
Well, I have one other thing that they
Okay.
Depending on who it is, there could be a Smash reveal.
on
I
the
think
list?
if it's someone mainstream enough.
Maybe.
Because to me, the Game Awards is not the same stuff that we would expect to see in a Nintendo Direct. It's a lot more mainstream, I think, for a wider audience. So I think depending on who it is, like when we got Joker, what was it, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
That is, I think, a very mainstream announcement
That freaked me out.
for
man.
a Smash character.
Yeah.
It was so good.
was.
I think if it's another mainstream character
With
like that,
Doom Guy.
we would see that. Yes.
Doom Guy, definitely.
Yes,
yeah.
he would definitely.
Yep.
hmm
I put Smash on here. I put it at the bottom because I feel like I don't remember how long it's been, but I feel like Steve and Alex and all them, that's pretty recent. I feel like we haven't waited long enough for the next one. Is that wrong?
what was it, September?
Yeah.
It feels current. I feel like usually the space in there is a little longer than this.
It normally is a few months, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
So it could happen.
The top of my list is Bayonetta 3.
Yes, that's what I was thinking in my head.
If I had to make a bet, that would be where I'd put money. Like if I had to make a bet, I would bet on Bayonetta 3 resurfacing and showing up the Game Awards.
And then that was the only thing we've ever heard about it was at the Game Awards, right?
Right. And so
It
that's
seems fitting.
it's a good place to bring it back, especially if it's ready to go for this year, which
Yeah.
I hope it is. If it's not, I'm real concerned about Bayonetta.
There's problems.
Yeah, I'm real concerned about Bayonetta. And it seems like it would
Which would be
fit.
surprising, too.
It seems like it would fit in well with kind of what they're doing already this year. We got Monster Hunter, Shin Megami
Yep.
Tensei, No More Heroes 3. Throw a Bayonetta in there. It's like, man, Nintendo's got hardcore games for real gamers. You know,
very
like,
Japanese
yeah, it's got a
games
lot of
next
stuff.
year.
So that's my first one. All right, here's the one that I don't think people want to hear. But I totally think it's possible. I totally think they could show us Bowser's Fury, whatever, for Mario 3D
Okay.
World at the Game Awards.
Sure.
I think, I don't see a problem with that. We already know it exists. They throw us a little reminder. That
I think
wouldn't
if
be
that
like
was
a-
the
gameplay
only
going?
thing
Yeah.
that they did at the Game Awards, people would be like upset.
That's the only thing. No, I almost even expect that. I thought we were
Yeah, me
just
too.
talking about brand new things that we
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Like this, we already know about.
Because that's like, what, February?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
February.
close. It's real close. And it's the
Oh,
only
yeah.
thing they
I
have
think
left
it would
to
be
talk
weird
about.
if they didn't have a trailer for that at the Game Awards.
Yep. I wrote this down, Metroid, and then next to it I wrote, who knows?
LOL, JK. No,
Um,
oh god, no. I had my expectations for that last year.
So here's what I'll
Forget
say about
about it.
Metroid. There's a lot of things in the air. Kratos just showed up in Fortnite. That's a real thing. There's all this fan speculation and rumors that Master Chief is going to show up, which has led all the people think that, like, oh my God, it's Soul Calibur again. Does that mean Metroid is showing up? Is Samus in Fortnite? Could be. I don't know. Could be. That could be it. But we've had a lot of Metroid smoke for years. And it's not all
Too
been,
much smoke.
but here's the thing though, you're right. But it's not all been just Reset era. We've actually had legit people that went on record that have good track records that have said, like, there's a 2D Metroid game. And I don't know who the people are that did the Samus Returns. Was it Mercury something or whatever? They haven't done anything since then. Maybe they're doing something like that. Maybe there's a remaster, you know, like, but it's been a couple years since Metroid 4, like from Prime actually got something. Like I could see Metroid something.
Last year, the big rumor for the Game Awards was Metroid Prime Trilogy. That's what the big rumor was that everybody said was going to be an announcement, and it wasn't.
True.
So I can't go into this expecting Metroid Prime Trilogy again because my heart will be broken again.
I agree. I do agree. Just listing a list of things that I think could happen.
I don't think it's mainstream enough for the Game Awards.
I think the Game Awards is the perfect place to talk about Metroid because, to be honest with you, I don't think Metroid does as well in a Nintendo Direct as it would at somewhere like the Game Awards.
I don't think Nintendo has confidence with Metroid to put it at the Game Awards.
I feel like, and this is me just completely projecting, I feel like the PlayStation and the Xbox fans are more excited for Metroid than any other like Nintendo franchise. Like Metroid might be the one that gets some of them to think, ooh, I should get a Switch. I want to play Metroid.
Maybe because the Metroid has that dark ambiance feel to it, if that's what's going to be.
Whereas
with Metroid Prime 4.
I don't think that's Nintendo's bread and butter with Mario and Mario Golf and Donkey Kong. Yeah.
It would be smart for Nintendo to do that to get their attention. I don't think those people that you just described even know what Metroid is.
Good point.
Maybe.
The next one I wrote down is Monster Hunter. Totally expect to see Monster Hunter again.
Sounds good to me.
Would they take? Let me say, I'm going to take you for a trip here. Don't just immediately say no. Would they hint or show new hardware at the Game Awards? Not detail it, not price it, not date it, but just announce that it's a thing or show a trailer.
No, that's not Nintendo's thing. They want their own announcement for that.
Game Awards free marketing. Remember remember Xbox unveiled the Series X?
No, it's not Nintendo style.
I think they would just drop a trailer. Right beside
a trailer.
The Game Awards. Yeah, a trailer.
Remember, and here's what I'm thinking. Remember when the Switch was unveiled to us? How far out it was unveiled before we got like the big breakdown of everything that it was? What if it was just that? Like, there's a new Switch coming. We'll talk to you later.
I totally believe that.
Here's a look at it. Here's what it looks like. Rebecca's like, kill your dreams.
I think they would have to like lead something out in that commercial where it's something a little different. Because if they just say new Switch, I don't know if that would catch people's attention. It's like, I already got a Switch. Like, why do I need this? If they showed a little bit,
it's sleek.
It's sleek and it's
that's it.
The functionality is
great.
Like
if they just showed it. What if they talked about Breath of the Wild? They're like, hey, it's Breath of the Wild 2 is a trailer, and then they were like, wait till you get to play on this thing, and that's it. Sets the internet on fire. And they just walk out, right?
All the non-Nintendo fans set the internet on fire,
like that. That's marketing. Like that's perfect marketing. Okay, this is my last point. Mm-hmm. It's 3 points, and I think you guys will understand where I'm trying to go here. I'm trying to think of a third-party game that gets announced at the Game Awards coming to Switch. That's not necessarily Nintendo news. So I wrote down Among Us, Fall Guys, or Apex. Maybe something else, but that's in my headspace is like there's probably a third-party game, a port or something that's like, and you're going to get to play it on Switch.
That makes sense. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Something. Yeah.
Fall Guys, not Among Us.
It can't, no. Among Us will never come to Switch.
I was, my biggest part of listening to these three is I was trying to pick games that were contenders for awards. That's what I was kind of going for. But it could be anything, but something like that.
I just want to say Hipster Pop Geek brought up a really good point in chat that we will not see a new hardware announcement at the Game Awards because that's right before Christmas. You don't want to announce new hardware when they're trying to sell units for Christmas.
They already did that for their Switch too, though, right? Like they revealed it before Christmas.
I disagree with him.
Yeah.
Personally.
No, I think that's a good point. Why would they? That would be silly for them
the point
to do.
that I say that I disagree is we just had 2 other manufacturers announce hardware, and they're sold out. The Nintendo Switch is selling off the shelf right now, like they can't keep stock. So I think now is the perfect time to let people know that are maybe planning.
So don't
on-
buy our product for Christmas because
I don't think anybody's going to do that. See, I don't think that's a legit thing.
I
I
don't
think
think- yeah.
I think all right, so let me rebuttal. I think the rebuttal is don't go and buy that PlayStation 5 just yet. We've got something for you. Or at least to get in their people's minds. Because think about it, you're somebody right now, you want a PS5, you can't buy one.
See, I disagree. They're not competing directly with Sony and Microsoft.
At the end of the day, they're all selling video game systems to consumers. Like they're all competing at the same time.
But I don't think their message is
I
don't go
agree.
buy that PS5.
I don't think that's the message, but that's the justification for showing it early. Like, hey, it's not just about them. We too have something you need to know about. It's just that little, again,
Maybe.
I'm not
Yeah.
expecting them to do a price and detail specs and anything. I'm just saying, just set the hook. Like, here's this thing.
I'm thinking of the audience for Game Awards. I think of like, gamers like ourselves and more of a broad audience. And like, I think people either have a Switch and think about getting a Switch Pro next year, like
The
thinking
Game
about it.
Awards, they buy them all.
Yeah, they buy them all.
That's
Like,
the audience. They buy all the consoles.
I don't think it's parents like looking at this.
No,
award.
That's
but
it.
there would still be that would still eventually make its way onto YouTube, eventually make its way onto the
Sure.
the outlets that
Sure.
parents will see.
Yeah. Is that
I don't
any
think people will care that much though.
You don't think?
is that any
With the
different
Switch
than
Pro,
the constant Switch Pro rumors that have been happening for the last 6 months anyway?
Maybe not.
So those are the things that I wrote down that I think could
That's good
happen.
for
What I don't think happens, Pokemon.
No.
I don't think so. No,
There'll be no
Pokemon's too
Pokemon
big.
Snap. There'll be no Pokemon.
No.
Yeah.
No.
There'll be none of
Pokemon's
that.
not, yeah. I think. Oh, just level with me here. Monolith. We haven't heard from them. In
They're
a
doing
long
Breath of
time.
the Wild.
Oh, they're helping.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, a Xenoblade kind of offshoot title, maybe. Maybe announce something at the Game Awards.
I would say it'd have to be a port, but they just did a port.
Well, no, they already did a port. Yeah.
Right, but that's the thing. I think it's too early. Like they did
You think it's
Xenoblade
too
2.
early?
They did 2 Torna and Definitive Edition, and you're expecting another game?
It's just an announcement,
Okay.
right? It's
Sure.
not too early versus Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, I still think it's too early for.
No.
I disagree with you, but I'm gonna let you have it.
Okay.
I don't want to ruin your dreams. You believe in it, Carrot. I want
well.
it to happen. At
I'm just
best, it would have to be Xenoblade Export.
Yeah.
At this
okay.
point. At this point. I think they're probably a year. I think they're full hands on deck getting Breath of the Wild 2 out. Like that entire thing is now they've got Xenoblade out of the way. It's all hands on deck for that, and then they'll go back to Xenoblade something.
Okay. Sounds good.
That'd be my guess. So yeah. Anything else? Are you excited? Are you hyped up?
I will play probably side stuff of Age of Calamity while I watch this for a few hours. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I like the performances in there, actually. Like the music performances at Game Awards. They bring in some really cool bands.
I've talked
I
to a
don't
lot
like
of
Is it
commercials.
Pearl Jam? I heard Pearl Jam. Is that true?
Pearl Jam.
That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
Oh, that would be a grab.
I've
That would be interesting.
said a lot of things about how Hipster Pop Geek says new Fire Emblem. It's too early. It's too early, man. So I think I've said a lot of things about the Game Awards. I thought last year's show was really good. I was actually won over.
Because of the Series X.
Well, it wasn't just that. I actually thought I thought that the show was better. Like I didn't mind the show as much. And now here's the thing.
I was
don't
bored to tears.
I don't
Me too.
I don't watch it. I'm just on,
I see.
I'm just on Twitter while I'm playing a game. I got Twitter going,
right.
and I'm like, "Ooh, that's an announcement. Ooh, that's an announcement." Because that's all I'm here for. I'm just for the
Yeah.
announcements. I don't care about who wins. I don't care about the awards or the categories or any of that. I'm just there for the announcement. And I thought
It was so
announcements wise, the show last year really kind of brought it actually in a way that I didn't expect. Yeah, and the Series X, yeah, that helped.
They're saying it's Eddie Vedder. It's not.
Yeah. As long as he climbs, the stage and gets up on the Titantron and stuff, like that'll be amazing. So December, Empire of Sin, Immortals Phoenix Rising, Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and Blade of Light out now. John Wick Hex out now. These are all out. Doom Eternal next week. I'm very excited about this. Way too excited for anybody to actually believe me. All of the Bit Trip games are coming to Switch. All of them. Core, Void, Flex, Beat, Fate, Runner. They're $5. And if you buy one, you get all the other ones at like 60% off. So they're like $2. So you can buy them all for like $20, basically what that means. Cube Life Island Survival is a Minecraft game that most nobody has ever heard of. I played it on Wii U. It was fantastic on Wii U. Jack loved it a lot. So if you're into those types of things, maybe look into that. And then I don't know who put this in here.
I put this in here.
Mercenaries Blaze Dawn of the Twin Dragons Rising.
There's no rising in there.
Rising.
No, there's no rising in there. I actually got, recent attention to this game. It looks super cool. It's an old school strategy RPG. It looks like from GBA sprites, like that type of style. It looks like Final Fantasy Tactics, but just in a new IP.
I like Final Fantasy Tactics.
It certainly looks like that. And they have like previous entries. It's by a studio in Japan. It's like an indie studio. They have previous entries in the Switch, but I think I'm going to start out with this one and see how it goes. It's $15 and it comes out December 17th.
Nice. So December's got some games. Before we all run off and do the Christmas stuff, there's some games to play. I'm getting Immortal Phoenix Rising. Totally playing on Xbox. So, yeah. And I'm getting Empire Sin, too. I haven't played that as well on Xbox. Rebecca, let's get some questions direct from the listeners.
Yeah, our first question has to do with one of the games you just said. West 3DP wanted to know if anyone has played Immortals Phoenix Rising Stadia demo. Anyone will be picking it up on Switch?
I totally played the Stadia demo. I did.
Me too.
It's really good. It's real good. I'm excited for it.
It's good. Every time I play that, like I played the demo, I feel like it's a generic third party RPG.
I was talking about Empire. The thing that I don't know how I'm going to land on this game, but the thing that I just didn't expect it to hit me the way it did when I played the demo is the dialogue.
Oh, that was rough.
That was so rough. It's like satire and
fourth
tongue in cheek and funny. And I didn't know that. I don't know why. Like, I just didn't know that. And I don't know. Like, I feel like it lessens the adventure in a way. Like, if you're just going to make fun of it. Now, maybe it gets really funny, but the demo wasn't super funny.
It was like, it was rough for the Borderlands comedy.
It was landing so flat with me. I was like, are they going to do this the whole time? Because I might not want to play it.
Now, I heard people playing it. It's not as bad as
the
demo.
That's what I'm hoping for.
It's less dialogue than you think.
But that opening and the intro, and because the demo, like, you got to sit there for 4 minutes while they do their little thing. And
oh my gosh.
Is this the whole thing?
Yeah. So I played this game. It's very Ubisoft and let's get Breath of the Wild themes in here. When I played it, I'm like, okay, I've seen this before. I'm okay.
I want all the Breath of the Wild games. Give me all of them. Yeah. Like there's nothing sacred about somebody else does something really good and you copying and trying to do that as well. Like there's nothing sacred about that. I'm all for it.
I feel like I should be loving this game because of that. Like I should have interest in it.
It's so incredibly Breath of the Wild. I've been talking to Jeff as he's been playing.
I should check it out.
It's got all the shrines and the puzzles and it's all there. So I'm excited. We'll see. I haven't got a chance to play it yet. I'm sorry. The actual game, I have it. I bought it, but I've been tiling my kitchen, so I haven't played it yet. I'll play it tomorrow.
Now, picking it up on Switch, I'm just hearing from Kevin's impressions. It is very muddy textures, very kind of rough on Switch. There was a patch day one that made it better for him, and like the frames are steady, but still.
Go to YouTube, type in PS5 or Xbox versus Switch Immortals. And if you don't mind what that looks like, then more power to you.
Yeah.
I minded quite a bit.
Me too. When I saw the direct, I'm like, I very mind the quality of
the draw distance is like cut in half, and there's like a fog over the entire picture. It's like, oh no.
And the frames are just
no thanks.
It's just rough.
It's so sharp and clear on Xbox. Like it's very vibrant.
And PC.
And really so sharp good. Picture clarity. And I get like once you get used to it, Rebecca, it's hard to go back. Like
It's really
there
hard
is
to
this
go
like
back.
blissful thing. You're like, it doesn't matter to me. I never see it. But that's the thing. It's like if you never see it, it doesn't matter. But once you do see it, like-
I have seen it. I don't play games for how they look, to be completely honest with
Sure.
you. It doesn't dazzle me at all.
so I talked to I was like Jack got a Series S, right?
Mhm.
Jack's been very much. I've brought it up on the show. He's talking to his friends. Graphics don't matter and all these Switch Warrior. He played Destiny 2 with Series S, and literally 4 seconds in the game, he was like, "Wow."
That's the thing. I look at it and I say, "Wow," but I don't like. I'm not going to go seek out more expensive hardware or a different version just for that. I don't care about that
Cool.
at all.
I do.
I don't.
I
just
don't.
at
Yeah, I
all.
have no rebuttal. I think I do.
Every time I go
That's
back
fine.
to Calamity, the first 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is rough. I always think that.
You
I'm
do
like,
get
"Ugh,"
used to it, right? You get acclimated
I-
to it, and it
I
doesn't
get used
bother
to
you
it.
as much. Yeah. Yeah.
as I go on.
Yeah.
But man, oh man.
The beautiful
it's
thing
so
about
much
Switch is that most of their games didn't matter, right? Because
True.
Paper Mario looks amazing. Like Paper Mario
Exactly.
looks great. So it doesn't matter for Nintendo. The problem is when Ubisoft wants to put a game over there, it
Or a
kind of
third-party
matters.
game.
Yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
matters. It matters a lot.
Connor wants to know, I recently finished Crosscode and I absolutely loved it. It took a lot of
Congrats.
patience to solve the puzzles, to do some research to understand the game's equipment and leveling mechanics. What was the last game you enjoyed that demanded something from you?
Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Yep.
What was demanding about that?
It was really, there were several sections. It was tough to figure out where to go. And then actually, there were several sections to figure out how to do it. One of the things I always bring up when I tell people how much I loved Ori was there was this one point in the game where, I'm trying to explain it. You had to, so in Ori, you can jump near projectiles that will kill you, but you can like kind of boost off of them and change their direction. So there was this one section where a person shoots a projectile at you. You had to then jump, shoot that projectile in a different direction. And so it goes this way off the cliff. And as it's falling, you have to run all the way down and catch it at the bottom and then shoot it to open a door. And I had never done anything like that in a game before. And I remember sitting there for 30 minutes trying to pull it off. Like just trying to figure out what to do. Like I was at this door, I didn't know where to go. And I'm going all over the game trying to figure out, I'm like, I have to go through this door. And then once I figured out, I was like, this is what I have to do. And then actually pulling it off after failing 10 times to do it, I was like, this is very impressive. Like I have never done this in a game, and I've been playing games for a long time, and I've never done this, like this little section. And Ori's full of that for me. For me and Ori, like the ending section of Ori, where you literally can't touch the sides at all or you will die. So you were just warping from like scene to scene to scene, and you're ricocheting off of everything, and one miss, like you start all over again, and then actually pulling it off. The sense of accomplishment that I got from beating Ori and the Will of the Wisps, it's like it would have been like if I could have beaten Hollow Knight. I couldn't beat Hollow Knight, but it's like that. It wasn't hard. It was doable. I did it. I never felt like I couldn't do it. But it was challenging. It challenged me in a way to kind of stick with it and learn it. Like, I think I've talked to you guys about this, like when Ori was announced for Switch, like to master that, because I think with Ori and the Will of the Wisps, it teaches you to master its controls. And
I need to play this game.
I don't think a lot of games do. And it's like I'm trying to say what I think without saying, like, it's not Dark Souls. It's not, it's not hard, but I feel like that addiction to that game style is similar, I guess.
Okay.
I was actually just going back to look at the list of games that I've played recently. This is a very good question. I don't think I have quite as intricate of an answer as you just described. I'm just thinking of hard games that were very demanding for me that I don't think I'll ever be able to beat Cuphead as much as I really want to.
Yeah,
because
that's tough.
Game is
That's a
hard for
tough
me.
game.
It's tough.
There's a lot that game demands that I just can't do. And I love everything about the game. I love the concept. I love how it's beautiful. I love the music. I love the characters. I love all the enemies and levels and everything. It's just very precise reactions. You're doing it over and over and learning every time that you do it. You can't make a mistake. It's very hard for me. So that's a very demanding game for me that I wish I was better at.
Elaine loves Crosscode. She beat it and then bought the Switch version. She loves it so much, and she had it on Game
That's so
Pass.
cool.
So
That's so cool.
yeah, I understand where he's coming from. Like a lot of people really like this game.
I want to get to it, but There's too many games. For me, the last game that was really demanding was Fire Emblem Three Houses, because I played it on hard classic.
Oh yeah, I don't even do that. Not even close.
Yeah, and so I had to be very careful where to place my units. I had to replay a lot of missions to make sure I
Did
didn't
you do the
lose
DLC
any
on Hard
character.
Classic too?
I'm about to. I actually bought it last week, so I'm about to.
The
do
DLC
that.
is a whole separate thing. Like it's
Oh, I can't
the
wait.
DLC is what I wanted the game to be. Like the game was pretty
Oh.
like paint by numbers Fire Emblem. The DLC is like good Fire Emblem, like all kinds of different stuff. Random enemy spawns, controlling multiple points, like good Fire Emblem. So,
Cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait. But yeah, that game on hard, I mean, I can't even imagine a harder difficulty and like having fun, because I was like, okay, this is about the limit. That, take my time and do all the tactics with
It's
that
tough.
game. So yeah.
Low Roll wants to know, do you think the PS5 Pro rumors are true?
I think so, Laurel. I think so. PS5 Pro coming out.
Double graphics
2020.
cards,
I'm-
Double graphics cards with a slide.
2 GPUs.
Connection. 2 GPUs.
This is the stupidest rumor.
Okay, should I go on?
No, no, you shouldn't.
VMox wants to know, is there any possibility of Age of Calamity being canon when it comes to Breath of the Wild 2?
Sure. Why not? You know,
Let's just say it is.
time travel's totally a thing in Zelda universe, and that's for real. It's not sarcasm. It totally is.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be? Yeah, it could be. Totally could be.
And I'm saying this obviously as I'm only halfway through the game. I haven't beat it yet, but I feel free to shut this down if it's totally wrong. I almost feel like they're setting it up so that they could make an Age of Calamity 2 if they wanted to, but that doesn't have to affect Breath of the Wild 2, that like Breath of the Wild 2 can just kind of continue on with what we know as the Breath of the Wild universe and timeline, but they're kind of setting it up so that if they wanted to make another Age of Calamity story continuing on with it, they could do so.
Okay.
Is that
Sure.
wrong,
No, I don't think so.
Donnie?
Once
Okay.
you do time travel, all bets are off.
You got multiple timelines. You have all possibilities.
That's everything.
Yeah.
It's comic books, it's superheroes, it's movies. Once you introduce the element of time travel, you can literally do whatever you want.
I don't think the Zelda timeline ever took itself too seriously. I'm not
Sure.
as big of a Zelda fan as I am. I don't pay any mind at all to the timeline. I think that Nintendo put it down on paper to appease fans. You cannot make any sensible rhyme or reason
Yep.
to it
Yep.
at all. You shouldn't, because they never wanted to.
Yeah, I don't really care about the timeline
no.
overall. But the thing that I did love so much about Hyrule Warriors is how it brought all of those worlds together. That's like that special feeling that I think I have for Hyrule Warriors that I just don't have for Age of Calamity. And when
That's
you
fair, it's a
just
different
said
game.
Age of Calamity 2, I'm not going to lie to you, like I just kind of a little abrasive. I was just like, I don't know.
The world and characters are popular
I
as hell.
don't know if I want that game. I
Whether you like it or
really
not,
don't.
that it's popular.
Sure. I'd rather them do Hyrule Warriors 2. Or just a whole different thing, like a whole different Zelda-based Warriors game. Tell me a unique story, like detached from the timelines together. Tell me a Zelda story in a Warriors system. That's
Zelda's never been
completely
about the
different.
stories. It's about the world and characters.
Sure. Tell me a new one.
With new characters.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Age of Calamity 2. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Now
What would you do?
What else is it? It's an epilogue. It's an epilogue to Breath of the Wild 2, I guess.
Yeah.
You have the prequel. You have the epilogue.
I'm just saying that it feels like that's what they're setting it up for. And I
That's
haven't finished it, so I don't know, but
probably more right than it's wrong.
yeah, okay. Kyle the Pug wants to know our top 5 favorite Zelda games of all time.
I saw
can't-
this
I
one,
can't rank these.
so I wrote mine down.
Of course, I have mine.
Wind Waker. I flip-flopped again. Booted up my Wii U. I opened up Wind Waker. I totally got off Outside Island, and I definitely was like smiling the whole time and just kind of remember why I love this game so much. I totally respect that I think Breath of the Wild's a better game for all the right reasons. The systems and everything are totally revolutionary and everything. But my favorite Zelda game is still Wind Waker, and it's because of the story. And a lot of my games are for the story. And I think Wind Waker has the best story in a Zelda game. I think has the most weight and meaning because Link has family and it's like a redemption story. I also am partial to Toon Link, but also Young Link. I like that little boy wonder approach more so than like adult grizzled, superhero Link. I also love the combat. I think the parry system combat and the tools that you have at your disposal is the best.
Wind Waker's the best as far as combat goes. Absolutely.
It's really good. And I do still love the art style. I think it's a timeless art style, and I think it only gets better with age, and it's my favorite. And I think that's reasons why Breath of the Wild is number 2 is because it draws a lot from Wind Waker. So Breath of the Wild is number 2, and then I do Ocarina, Link to the Past, and then I almost fear to say this. I have Hyrule Warriors, number 5, my favorite Zelda game. And then, I would put other ones off kind of. There's a group after that, and I don't really know how to pair them up or mix them.
Okay, I'm going to go through my list real quick just because it's going to be super quick. The only Zelda games other than Age of Calamity I have played is probably number 1 is Link to the Past, of course. Number 2, I've been debating this. I think Breath of the Wild is still my number 2. Number 3, Ocarina of Time. It's a very important game, I think. And then I've only played Link Between Worlds. I really enjoyed that game. I think I love the connection with Link to the Past. I love the novelty behind it, where you sunk into a wall art, and there's all sorts of dimensions and puzzles with that. I think that was very unique with 3DS as well, with the 3D effect. I would certainly love that on Switch. Give me that on Switch, please. And then I've only played the 2DS games, and I've just forgot, like Spirit Tracks, and what was the other one?
For DS, Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah.
Phantom Hourglass. I think I played Phantom Hourglass the most, and I think I enjoyed it. I don't know. It's been a while.
Garrett, you've played Zelda games that I've never played.
Really? Which ones?
I've never played those 2.
Oh, okay.
On the
Oh, wow.
DS. Yeah.
They're not that good.
They're really
I
nice.
just say.
My list of top 5, 10, whatever Zelda games is always changing. So this might be different if you asked me tomorrow.
Lock it in stone, guys. Hold her to it.
Generally, though, A Link to the Past is my favorite because it was my first one. It's classic. I can go back. I played it more than any other game ever. Ocarina of Time is probably still my number 2, just because of growing up with it and how much it means to me. Breath of the Wild would probably come in at number 3 at this point. Minish Cap would probably come in at number 4 on most days. And then Wind Waker. Wind Waker might be number 4 and Minish Cap 5, to be honest. I don't know. Those flip. They're somewhere in there.
And I had Skyward Sword, Twilight, Link Between Worlds, and like next to Hyrule Warriors. I just don't know what order I'd put those in.
Yeah,
they're kind of
hard.
To me, they're like in tiers. Like this 5 that I gave you, top tier. These are my favorite Zelda games. Everything else is kind of a jumbled mess behind it.
It's very hard for me to rank Zelda games. I almost find myself trying to rank the 2D Zelda games different than the 3D games just because of how different those games are to me.
Yep. Yeah. No, I would do the same. And yeah, it's also one of those things where it's like I like so many of them. Like I like most of them. I love Zelda games, my favorite franchise. So, like it's really kind of splitting hairs at certain points.
Yeah.
Like, well, which one's 8 or 7? Who cares?
Our last question, Brendan wants to know, with Ubisoft making saves move across platforms, do you think we could see bundles where you can get Switch version on other console versions, kind of like how Sony did cross-buying with the PS4 and Vita?
No.
That would be hard. Like, that would be very hard to pull off as a third-party publisher to do cross-platforms like that. I don't see it. They should promise cross-save between Switch versions and other platforms from now on.
I think so.
But cross-buy, if it's not within the same ecosystem.
Because if you're charging more for both, then it's not cross-buy. Right? Cross-buy is you buy it at one, you can play it everywhere. Now, a bundle, could you see a discount? I think that would be a really cool way to promote a game. Cool. Like Immortals Phoenix Rising, right? It's, what, $60, $70, whatever it is. It's $60 brand new. Let's say for $100 you got the Switch version and the DLC. That's something to think about for some people. But to answer the question, no. Maybe streaming. Maybe like if Ubisoft did a streaming thing, maybe, but
Maybe
outside
if
of
it's on streaming,
outside of a streaming thing, no, I don't think so. And I actually, even with the streaming thing, if it's not going through Nintendo and through their eShop, they're not getting their cut. So that ain't happening either. And that's kind of the issue with like this utopian buy the game, play it wherever you want account system thing. It's there's too many hands in the pie. You know,
Right.
somebody's going to be upset. And as long as somebody's upset, then that world's not going to come to reality. So, no.
Sorry, Brendan.
Is that it?
Good thinking. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, that's going to do it for us this week in the Nintendo Shack. We will see you next week again, one final time. Reminder, we will be recording Friday night next week as we recap all the news that happened at the Game Awards. You heard it here first. Breath of the Wild,
Maybe we'll be
Bayonetta
talking
3,
about. We could be
Metroid,
talking about it
Pokemon
next
Snap.
week.
Get excited, folks. Get hyped. Definitely, you will not be let down. We never have been, ever. Get crazy. Go out of your minds. The sky is the limit. Hype responsibly, and I would say you could stream it, but we're not going to stream it. So we'll recap the news that was, and hopefully it's really exciting. I would love to have some really exciting news as we go into Christmas holidays and all that.
Definitely.
It'd be great. I mean, Switch Pro definitely being announced next week.
Stop
That'd
it.
be totally cool, you know?
Lower those expectations.
Switch Pro hype, let's go.
Go into it expecting nothing that way. You can't be
4K
disappointed,
screen.
and you'll be pleasantly surprised if there is something.
DLSS.
I was promised Breath of the Wild 2.
No. I heard on the Nintendo Shack podcast that they were going to do this, and that.
Say Jeff Grubb said it. That seems to work.
It'll swirl around all the media.
Let's get on Eurogamer again. We could lie about it. It totally works. Still works.
I don't know. You can
Guy.
say that there's
Oh
a
my
PS5 Pro coming, and
With
they'll talk about
two
it.
GPUs and everything.
Oh my gosh.
2 GPUs, come on. Okay, has anyone seen 2 GPUs at a PC? It doesn't work. No game support 2 GPUs. That's the end of the Nintendo.
That rumor, Jeff's reaction to that rumor was amazing. Man, that's the best. Okay, that's gonna do it for us this week. Good night, Koopalings.
Bye-bye.